Okay, so today I'm just going to talk about the Camino. You guys know I went on this, but I saw a lot of things when I was there, and I've just been encouraged to try and put some of this together. So hope this is short. So it's called the Way of St. James also, and there's about 10 routes. And can you turn this up a little bit, Brent? Because I don't like holding it really close. And it's called the Way of St. James, and it's because of James the Elder. Okay, he's actually buried there according to legend. So that's why it's called that, okay, if you didn't know. And I walked from Lisbon to Santiago, 700 kilometers, 25 days. And I just want to give you a bit of history here, just so you got it in context. The church at Santiago is where everybody goes, and it was an ancient pilgrimage route. It's like a spider web across Europe. So people would walk there because James was buried there, according to legend. And the church split east and west in 1054. And in 1057, this church was built. So this church pretty much goes back to the beginning when the church was one. Okay? And I want you to notice that because I'm going to talk a little bit about that today. And there's about 50% believers. And almost all of them are Catholic, so I was greatly outnumbered there, and that's important to notice because I'm going to talk about that too. And a lot of them were from Eastern Europe, from Slovenia, from Czech, from Slovak, from Poland, and from Hungary. Okay, so it's very interesting. These are people from Eastern Europe as well doing this. There was almost no Canadians, and there's almost no Protestants. Okay, so I woke up every day and after the Lord's Prayer, I prayed that God would show me what he wants me to know, and for me and for the church. So I began to notice a lot of things, and he was speaking to me as well on this. And I've got to take my glasses off for this. Okay, so I mentioned there's a lot of Catholics. So obviously we have differences, okay, because I'm Protestant, and they know what I think, and I know what they think. And so we had to be very careful about what we talked about. And I just want to give huge kudos to the Catholics, because they were very careful about what they said. And we were conscious because we're all sitting in front of unbelievers, right? So we have to be careful about what we're doing. We're ambassadors for God. And so I saw this like big time. Not just a few people, everybody. It was amazing. So that's the first thing. And the Lord was impressing upon me how important that was. And, you know, look, the church is split in 1054, and it's split, and it's split, and it's split, and it's split. How many times is it split now? We can barely even talk to each other. So this is important to notice. I don't think the Lord's happy with that. The second thing is, this was really interesting. At night, we would sit around sometimes, and there may be 15 people in a room. There's nothing else to do. And people would be encouraged to say why they're there, okay? And this was a very safe place, and people would tell you the most horrible things that had happened to them or things they'd failed at, whatever it was. And everybody's there for the same reason. They want to leave this thing behind, okay? So that's why people walk on this. And they leave a stone at the end, okay? And I don't have enough time to get into some stories, but there's some pretty amazing stories on this. And so that's another thing that happened. And also the way believers and unbelievers, I mean, everybody would help you. If you were in trouble, they would give up their trip and help you, honestly. That's what I'm talking about, okay? So this is really important for the church to notice, because I'm not sure we do that very well as a church. And it has to do with it ties into a vision that I had this year about walking through difficulty. And, you know, I hate to say it, but, you know, when God works in your life, it's when you're weak. It's not when you're strong. It's when you're weak. And to look for God in the weakness. And also, you need to accept that weakness, okay? You have to accept it. It's not forced on you. You have to choose to do it and to walk in it like that. That's super important. And, you know, here's what I saw a lot of. You know, we're used to hearing about authority and submitting to authority, which is all true. But if you think about the other way around, Do you allow someone, or do you put yourself aside for someone who has no authority over you? So this is really important, and this is what I was seeing, because people were more or less equal, and they were saying, look, I will do this for you. It doesn't matter who you are or what's going on or who, what's happened to you. And so it was really important to see that. So that's about it. That's 5 minutes, so I'll try to keep this short. But basically, if you're in difficulty, just abide in God. I don't have time to get into that either. And just focus on the scriptures. Don't believe what people tell you, including me. Go and read it for yourself. Okay, that's it.
Thank you, Mike.